We will now take questions from the audience. Please form a line behind the microphone if you wish to ask a question. Questioners must state your name and address. Questions may not exceed 1 minute and must focus only on issues. No questions of a personal nature will be permitted, and no statements are allowed. A question may be directed to one candidate. However, each candidate will have up to 1.5 minutes to respond with no rebuttals. A second question from I will pass on that. As moderator, I reserve the right to rule on the appropriateness of all questions. The number of questions may be limited due to time constraints. We will move on to closing statements at about 8:25. Sir, please state your name and address.
Yes, my name is Vince Malfitano, 9 Fairview Place. My question is a very short two-part question. I attended a meeting some year or two ago, I guess it was the zoning board or so, and I think the Trump people or Capelli people were seeking some sort of a tax break, IDA or something. I was really there for something else. But the thrust of my question is this. Apparently something came up during the meeting where an executive session was called, and they came out, and all of a sudden they re-announced that the condos are now going to be listed as rental so they can get an IDA grant, because you can't give tax money to rich people. I sat there in amazement, and this was all voted for by my city government. Now, my question is this, as I asked with the mayoral candidates. I can't know everything, and neither can anybody in this room, but honesty is what we want, and openness. First of all, I'd like to ask Ms. Kettner, do you support the idea of IDA money being used to support what is a condominium project, or is it really a rental, or what is that all about? And second part.
Is this one question or two questions?
What's a two-part question?
Okay. So that's two questions?
Would you like to see these meetings televised?
I just want to be clear about the rules.
Well, the rules were, the lady before me asked a two-part question.
No, it's fine. It's just your 1 minute time limit is up.
Oh, well, that's,
So
if I could just finish it.
we'll
Can you
take
have
the-
them, would you
excuse
agree
me,
to
sir?
vote to have them televised, at these zoning board and planning board meetings?
Oh, absolutely. To the second part, as chair of the Zoning Board of Appeals, I've never been known to shy away from a TV camera, so that would not be an issue at all. I really do believe in open government, and as chair of the Zoning Board of Appeals, when it was announced that I was appointed chair in the press release, I stated that I would take the board on the road, which I did. I extended an invitation to more than 75 neighborhood associations throughout the city of New Rochelle. And I'll tell you, I really learned a lot traveling from the south end of the city, the co-op and condo associations, to appearing to the neighborhoods bordering on the Scarsdale border. It really gave me an opportunity to learn about a lot of issues citywide. I really am a firm believer in open government, Vince, and I believe that that all those meetings should be televised. In addition, it's not in my jurisdiction, but I believe the school board should be televised as well. So that's my answer to your question.
What about the first part?
Okay, well, I stated my position openly on my website, www.susankettner.com, that I am going forward. I believe that the city has turned a very important corner financially, and I really believe that going forward that all future big development should pay full freight. And we need to concentrate downtown on developing retail to secure our economic base. And in my introduction, I'd just like to state as part of my plan that on the City Council I would like to undertake an immediate study of the available stores and what the landlords are asking for. And not just the lease cost per square foot. We need to know how many thousands of square feet and what the cost is and what the tax escalation in leases are. So we have done our own homework and we can market ourselves. Thank you.
I agree with part two, of course. You should televise those zoning board meetings, no question about it. Government should be open to everybody. As far as part one goes, I mean, you know my belief on giving any abatements. I'm totally against it. Developers have to come here and they have to pay their fair share. They have to do their homework. They have to be able to put a plan together and don't put the onus on the citizens in New Rochelle.
Thank you.
Gene Tazi, 8 Sycamore Avenue, New Rochelle. And I'd like to ask each of the candidates, what's your vision? What would you hope to see in New Rochelle 4 years from now as you come to the end of your term? And what can the voters expect that you'll do to get us there?
Ms. Kettner?
Okay, that's an excellent question, Gene. Basically, in terms of my district, I really am going to fight to get this Pelham Road Jitney service to be working, because if it's successful, and basically I want to have a public-private partnership planning and have businesses coming in and developers coming in contribute to make this jitney service work. But I see a vibrant downtown and a growing retail and economic base. I see us, hopefully, sooner rather than later, doing away with the garbage tax, which apparently was necessary in the past to deal with really harsh economic times. I'm very optimistic about the future. I feel the city does have a long way to go, but we are headed in the right direction. But it's going to take a lot of hard work. It's going to take a lot of effort. And it's going to take a dialogue and a sense that we're in all of this together. We might disagree about how to get there, but there could be no disagreement that there are people like me who are just passionate about the city. I was born here. I have a history here. I'm a fourth-generation New Rochellean. I'm a third-generation attorney practicing in the downtown. I just couldn't be prouder, and I just couldn't be happier being where I am at the corner of North Avenue and Huguenot Street. I invite you to come by. I'm here all the time. I have a business in downtown New Rochelle. It happens to be a law practice. I love what I do. I'm an advocate. I represent people in downtown New Rochelle. I represent just about the most fragile members of our society, and most of them are New Rochelle residents. And I'm so happy to be doing what I'm doing. Thanks.
Mr. Taniguchi.
Well, what I envision in 4 years is we need to bring retail into the downtown, and that's a very difficult thing. This downtown really hasn't changed in the last 10 to 15 years. But what I'd like to do, and what the city should do, is to take some young people like I did with my own business and start it from scratch, and review 5 or 10 business proposals that people want to bring into the city. Listen to them. And we don't want dollar stores. We want stores that are going to be meaningful for us. And then maybe give them incentives for the first year, because for small businesses, about 70% of them fail in the first year. So if you get them through that first year hump, you can let them take a 1-year lease with an option for 10. The city could subsidize their rent, maybe for half their rent. And it's an incentive. It's not an abatement, though the incentives end after a year. But you give them the encouragement. And I myself, as a business owner, would even help these businesses. Help them with the pitfalls in the beginning when you have to do your marketing, you have to do your pricing, and you have to do your structuring for your business. That's what I want to see. I want to see Echo Bay. Echo Bay is a great opportunity to get retail. I don't think we need residential, but we need retail. We need revenue in the city. We're in the hole. I mean, when you give a $5 million tax abatement to anyone, like they did in M Square, which is the old Loewy's Theater, to get sales tax revenue equal to $5 million, you have to get $200 million in sales, because the city only gets 2.5% or 3% of the sales tax revenue. So understand that when you give $5 million, we're already in the hole for $200 million. So we might be in the hole for 4 or 5 years before we can even recover the money that we gave in an abatement. And you're all paying for that.